Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course, and we are on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, because I be talking. In today's episode, I'm going to just speak on the topic of you are someone's dream girl. Now, I'm thinking about making this a singles woman episode slash series. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of a series, but I'm just basically going to speak to single women and possibly men too, but this particular topic was on my heart because I recently had a conversation with a male friend, and we were just basically being vulnerable with each other, being transparent about the issues going on in today's world and just the problems we face with dating and just the idea of dating and finding that one, and just the struggles people have with social media being an influence in society in general, with cultural thoughts about how one should be in a relationship and what it takes to actually be in a relationship and what defines a relationship. But I can remember being very young, just asking my dad, like, what made you want to get married? Like, you from the hood, y'all was, my parents was the only parents in the hood that were married. None of my friends had both of their parents. They would have like stepdaddies or stepmamas, but their biological parents weren't married. Like, it was rare. You would have like older black couples sometimes that were with each other for years, and you would think they would be married, but they don't be married. So it was just like, what made you want to marry? Like, that was my question to my dad. I was just curious. Children are curious, and my daddy always said something to me that always stood out. And he said every real man wants the American dream. Every real man wants to be married. And I was like, that wasn't a good enough answer to me back then, because I was just like, what you mean every man want to be married? I ain't getting married. But when I think about it, and as I got older, when I noticed like the men that I would consider successful or well off or just doing very well for themselves and their family, they would always have a good woman by their side, or they would be married. Even like the highest positions in the world, like the president, the pastor, those people, those type of people typically have a wife. They typically have a helpmate, somebody to help them get to those levels, because when women and men, we use different parts of our brains. Okay, back to what I was talking about with my friend though. We was just, telling each other how we've always been and our values and core values. And he said to me what my dad or my uncles and any other man that is close enough to know me personally has always said. He was like, wow, no disrespect, because, you know, he's in a relationship, but he was just like, you are somebody dream woman, like just your thought process and just how you carry yourself, your history, you're a dream come true. And he was like, honestly, I didn't think women like you existed. And he explained how he had such high standards growing up, and when he started to date in high school and everything, those standards kind of went down because of society. And he honestly felt pressured and felt like the woman that he imagined didn't really exist. And he was like, you just restored so much hope in me with humanity in general, because I didn't think women like you exist. And it just made me think, like, there's a woman like that for every single man. And it's so many people when I'm scrolling on social media that's complaining about being single. We're at that age where we're almost 30 years old, and people are like, where is my husband? But with me, of course, we were made for a relationship. So of course I want a relationship, but there's beauty in being single. And sometimes being single, God just have you in a holding area and in protection before he gives you what you really need, and someone who really truly feels like you are everything they wanted and more. So it's just confirmation when you're going through trials and tribulations and you're just facing anything in the world. Just remember that what you're going through is temporary, and you are the answer to someone's prayers. So don't let your single season be a season that you take for granted. This is the only time that you would have to accomplish your goals and your dreams. It's the only time that you have to spend on yourself and yourself only. As soon as you decide to create a life with somebody else and you bring kids in the world and everything else into the picture, your life and your time is then divided by everybody else for the rest of your life. And there's beauty in that. Like I said, we were created to procreate and to have relationship, but there's also beauty in just being by yourself and being able to be by yourself, because not everybody can be by themselves. Some people are in that state where they always feel like they need somebody, and if you are that type of person, I do challenge you to go through a season where it's just you and you're just focusing on you. There's always something we can improve, whether it's our attitude, our physical appearance, our body, our fitness, our health, our eating habits, calling myself out. It's always something, room for self-improvement, and self-improvement is best in the dark when you're alone. When you're alone, that's the time to really hone in on yourself and make yourself a better person. But his statement to me just made me also want to say to any younger girls that's out there, or you're just like innocent and you don't date, don't rush into that. Personally, I have personal opinions when it comes to dating. I don't think that you should date at a very young age. And that's just like I was telling him. I always told dudes in like grade school when they would ask me to be their girlfriend, I always said no, because I grew up in a home where my parents provided for me, and I'm looking like, if I build this relationship with a person and we're both young and we're both broke, like, what is the benefit of you calling me your girlfriend other than us possibly engaging in intercourse, you know? So I associated relationships with my black culture at a young age with automatically, this person just want to have sex, because normally and typically that is what it was. And I had praying parents, I had praying grandparents, and I was in church and I was very discerning, and I think I caught those things right. So I am grateful that I was able to see that at a very young age. Like, there's no point in calling this person my boyfriend. What can he do for me? Nothing. It wasn't about what could he do for me. It was what was he trying to do with me or to me, because I do believe those things create emotional ties and bonds, and it can mess up your brain and, you know, just create soul ties that are unwanted and honestly not called for. And if you are a young girl, I do encourage you to save yourself and wait until you find your husband, and, you know, have a special experience and moment with your husband. Save your body. Do not rush into doing things that you don't want to do or you feel pressured to do because of a title or because you feel like you have found the one. You haven't found the one until you're walking down that aisle and you both say I do, and you are together and you have become one through God, through a union. So keep God first, and also just cherish your moments and your times here that you are having when you're interacting with people, but don't feel forced by culture to engage in things that you're not necessarily ready to engage in. And if you do feel like you are ready to engage in certain things, I do challenge you to figure out where those feelings of I'm ready is coming from. Like, do you genuinely feel like that, or do you just feel like you will be lonely or you will be left if you don't agree to certain things? So those are just some things that I do want y'all to think about, but just know that you are great. Like, I've seen a lot of posts on social media recently where women are like, what's wrong with me? Or, oh my God, or if it ain't this and it ain't that. And they try to post it like it's jokes, but I really think some people, when you start going a long time without being in a relationship and people possibly are asking you about children and marriage and boyfriends and girlfriends, that you do start to question why I haven't won in this particular area of my life. And I just want to encourage encourage you to keep on working on yourself and keep on becoming the best you in all aspects of yourself, because you are indeed somebody's dream girl. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. And y'all know I'll be back because I be talking. Peace.